Hi friends, today we are reviewing Karbonn Titanium S5 smartphone. Smartphone is the current flagship of Karbonn and it has 5-inch display which makes it similar to any phablet. Starting with the specification of the smartphone has 5-inch IPS display with Quattro HD resolution. There is Qualcomm MSM8225Q chipset underneath with 1.2 GHz quad-core Cortex-A5 CPU, Adreno 203 GPU. The smartphone has 1 GB of RAM, out of which 834 MB remains free for the end user. There is 4 GB internal storage, out of which 1.4 GB remains free for the end user. In terms of connectivity, the smartphone has Bluetooth, Wi-Fi, a GPS, micro USB port. Starting with the designing of the smartphone, there is an IPS display on the front, and as you can see, above the IPS display there is an earpiece. A secondary camera is available right after the earpiece, and a couple of sensors as proximity sensor and ambient light sensor are available just at the side of the camera. At the bottom there are 3 Android keys which are the primary keys for using this device. On the left there is a volume rocker. As you can see here, there is a volume rocker for setting out the volume. On the right side there is a power key which also works as a lock key. At the bottom there is an 8 megapixel camera with autofocus sensor. There is an LED flash for taking direct shots. On the top there is a micro USB port and the 3.5mm jack. Bottom of the smartphone doesn't have any controls, and at this side there is a pinhole microphone for making phone calls. Unlocking the phone opens up stock Android experience. As you can see, the smartphone runs on Android 4.1 Jelly Bean operating system. The smartphone has dual SIM capability, so let's take what it has underneath the back cover. As we have found that the back cover is made up of plastic, but it's high-grade plastic material. As you can see, there are 2 SIM slots. First one is only for GSM connectivity and the second one has GSM plus WCDMA support, which means the smartphone is capable of making 3G data and connecting with 3G network. There is a micro SIM card slot available this side, and as you can see there is an antenna at this side which works with this cover. The smartphone runs on Android 4.1 Jelly Bean operating system, and as you can see, Karbonn has provided stock UI on the top. There isn't any modification available. However, there is some little tweaks available on the user interface. As you can see, there are some toggles available on the top with Wi-Fi, Bluetooth, a GPS, mobile data, brightness and orientation lock controls. Going out at the settings panel will show up some details about the storage. As you can see, there is total 140 GB, 1.40 GB internal storage available. However, in the spec sheet it shows as 4 GB. Of course, some apps taking some internal memory as well. The smartphone runs on Android 4.1.2, but there is no option available at this side for over-the-air updates, so it might need a service center support for updating the firmware. Coming towards the telephony of the smartphone, there is a keypad dialer on this side from where users can dial the numbers, and there is an option to switch the cards from this side. As you can see, the smartphone is a dual SIM smartphone with dual standby capability. Now coming towards the browsing capability of the smartphone comes with stock Android operating system. As we have started surfing a website, the page loads up quickly and there is no issue with the scrolling and pinch zooming in and zooming out of texture. On orientation, as you can see, when we orient the screen, it loads with JavaScript as well. There is no flash support but browsing is smooth and users can open up any website in some seconds. As you can see, there is also option to tabbing up some websites. We found that there is some lag while browsing with the Chrome browser, which also comes pre-installed, but the browsing with the stock browser is nice without an issue. Now moving towards the camera capability of the smartphone. There is an 8 megapixel camera on the rear and 2 megapixel camera on the front. The rear camera is autofocus, and as you are seeing the stock Android experience in the camera app as well, there is a shutter button, a button to switch between video and still photography is available this side. Users can also switch between the front and the rear camera by this button. There are some modes as sports, auto, night and portrait modes. These are just 4 modes available in this camera app. Users can also switch between auto, flash and normal flash capability of this camera. Some options as changing the aspect ratio, white balance, exposure, face detection, guideline and color effects are available in this app. Overall the app is fine and decent capability of camera available inside the Karbonn Titanium S5. Coming towards the battery, the smartphone has 2000 mAh battery which works fairly nice for 1.5 days. It takes about 2 to 3 hours for full charging the phone, which is decent considering the screen size of 5" and the battery backup is fairly nice. We found that the smartphone having some heat up issue on the rear side while charging, but we hope that Karbonn will fix it with some firmware updates as well. Overall the performance is nice. It is clutter free, users can scroll pages without any lag, and this smartphone supports every game easily. However, there are some lag in some high-end games, as you can see in our game section. Overall, with the price tag of about 11,000 in India, Karbonn S5 Titanium is good deal over some other phablets by Indian players. The smartphone doesn't lag at all, and the Qualcomm chipset makes it a better deal against some competitors. So here is our review on Karbonn Titanium S5. Stay tuned to Tech13 for more details on Karbonn Titanium S5 and other latest news, reviews, analysis. So take care, goodbye.